What's up, guys? It's Brandon Flash. Today, you're joining me for a 1-month review of my 2025 Tesla Model Y long-range rear-wheel drive. Before we get into my thoughts on 1 month of having this long-range rear-wheel drive Model Y, I did want to mention if these videos are helpful to you in deciding to buy a Tesla, my referral link is down below. Right now, you can get up to $1,000 off a new Tesla. It does help out the channel if you use that, so would really appreciate if these videos help you. Use my referral down below. Now let's dig into my thoughts. Let me just start out my overall thoughts here with the Model Y long-range rear-wheel drive is the easiest car to recommend on the market today, EV or not. This car is absolutely fantastic. That doesn't mean it's perfect, but it's very good, and the overall package is almost unbeatable. So, few thoughts on this car. It has excellent range. This car will do right about 300 miles of highway 70-mile-an-hour range. I did do a range test actually already. Check out that video if you haven't. It was right about 300 miles. The conditions were not ideal, so I think it would actually do pretty easily over 300 miles if it was better conditions like summer or whatever. The efficiency is excellent. I'm just looking here. We have 2383 miles on this. We got it with 654 miles as an inventory demo car. And so far, the average efficiency is 268 watt-hour per mile, including mixed driving, so 70, 80 mile per hour interstate driving, as well as a lot of city driving. And since my last charge, 36 miles, I'm at 238 watt-hour per mile, mostly driving around town. So this car costs almost nothing to drive with how efficient it is. There's essentially no maintenance. It drives itself basically everywhere with full self-driving, supervised right now. Whether it will get to unsupervised is a bit of a question mark still, I'd say, but regardless of that, it's still very useful and I use it almost every day. The charging on this car, while it's not class leading, I just want to make that clear, it's still good enough for most people. It's about a 30-minute, 10 to 80%, which is, it's fine. It could be better. I think they should be getting closer to the 15 to 20-minute mark. Like Kia Hyundai have with their eGMP cars, like the Ioniq 5, the EV6. However, combined with the efficiency, you're generally not going to charge to 80% on road trips. And I did a whole charging analysis video. If you haven't already, check that out. And even with the not so great charging, it still is just an absolute road trip monster. The 10% challenge, which kind of conveys a real world road trip scenario, start at 10%, charge for 15 minutes. And then drive at 80 miles per hour until it's back down to 10%, had an excellent result. If I remember correctly, it was around 120 miles or so, but check out that video as well. And it's super comfortable. This car is just so easy to operate. The seats are great. You hop in, your phone is your key, you put your foot on the brake, and you put it in drive and you go. You don't have to start it, you don't have to think about it. The car often has your navigation destination set already, or you can send it from your phone, or you can sync your calendar and it will just know. Otherwise, it will predict whether you're at home or work, which way you're going, and it's usually right. It also has navigation suggestions based on your previous kind of use at that location, time, etc. They're actually pretty good usually if you have a pretty consistent schedule. And just overall, this car, it's just so easy. The app is excellent. You can turn on your climate control before you get in it. You never get into a car that's too hot or too cold. Some things on this car in particular, this one doesn't have the full premium audio system with the subwoofer. It's not as good as the premium audio system, of course. However, I still think it's good enough for most people. Unless you're a true audio enthusiast, you're really not going to notice the difference. It could use a little bit more bass, I suppose, but I don't think any normal person will ever complain about the speaker system in this car. It is better than most cars still, even with the bass audio system. The headlights in this car are really good. This has the projectors. My previous Model Y, the all-wheel drive non-long range, had the older reflector style headlights, and those ones were not as good, even though that car had fog lights as well. This one does not. I'd say the new headlights are quite a bit better, and Tesla's been using those for quite a while now, but not every trim level has had them, just Tesla things. The ride on this car is really good. The new Model Y, I think, will be even better. We'll talk about that more in just a moment. And the build quality is quite good as well. I really don't have anything negative to say about this car. It really can't be beat for overall package. Sure, there are some things it could do better. It could have 500 miles of range. I would love that. It could have 15-minute 10 to 80% charging. I would love that. But are those deal breakers to not recommend one of these? Absolutely not. This car, especially right now with the $299 a month lease on the base model, there's also inventory discounts right now as well, at least at time of recording, late January 2025. Also, if you're looking at this and you're considering on the used market, these are going to get cheap pretty quickly with the new Model Y coming out, and that's a super easy recommendation as well. If you can score one of these in the $20,000 range, you will be absolutely blown away with this car. It is excellent. Let's talk about new Model Y. So a couple weeks ago, they released the Model Y in China, the new Model Y. And just last week, they released the new Model Y in the US for ordering, and then for delivery in March. Around the world, they're doing a launch series of this new Model Y. And in most countries, it's just you get any option you want for free, and then you get acceleration boost included. In the US, the price is quite a bit higher than elsewhere in the world, at least on relative terms compared to the existing Model Ys. Because in the US, they're actually forcing you essentially to buy full self-driving for $8,000 factored into that price. If you were already planning on buying a long-range all-wheel drive Model Y and you wanted the most expensive color, white interior, tow hitch, acceleration boost, and full self-driving, I'm maybe missing something in there, then it's a good deal to get that long-range all-wheel drive launch series Model Y. You get it sooner. However, if you're like most people and you're not planning on buying every single option just because, then it's really not a great deal. And I think where the launch series really fails is that you can lease it, but you're still paying for purchasing full self-driving, which really doesn't make sense. If you're leasing a new Model Y or any Tesla, realistically, do not buy full self-driving. If you want full self-driving, that's great. Lease the car and then subscribe to full self-driving for $100 a month rather than purchasing it as part of your lease. Unless you absolutely know that you're going to be buying out that lease at the end, then I guess it makes sense. But it doesn't make sense to buy it and then have it as part of the lease, but pay more for it. So the new Model Y is out. Originally, I was planning on actually getting one to go along with this car because this is not my car. This is my fiance's car. I've, of course, been driving it right now, since this is our only EV at the moment anyway. But do I regret getting this car? That's question number one. And the answer to that is absolutely not. This car is still fantastic. And I'm actually kind of browsing and slightly tempted to get another one, but I probably won't. Especially now that I know that they're doing this launch series BS and they're forcing you to buy every option. The launch series new Model Y is over double the price per month on a lease than this car is. And it is not double the car. I can assure you of that. Sure, there are some nice things to that car. It has ventilated seats. It has the new interior, ambient lighting, better ride comfort, the refreshed exterior. Those are all great things. However, I don't think it's worth double the money. And then I just don't think it's really worth getting that launch series unless you don't care about money or unless you were planning on buying a loaded car anyway. Otherwise, you should wait. You should wait until Tesla releases those lower trim variants and allows you to get the cheaper Model Y, because again, the Model Y is a fantastic car. I don't think it's an $800 a month lease great car. It's not a good value at that price point. There are $800 a month on a lease puts it square against much more expensive and nicer cars. That's not anything negative to say about the Model Y. It's just every car has a value that it's worth, and a Model Y is not worth $800 a month on a lease. It is absolutely worth $300 a month on a lease, or around that range, depending on what options you get. And again, I can absolutely recommend this car to anyone. The lease is a steal. $300 a month with $3,000 down is a great value that I think most people can afford. Of course, not everyone, but I think a lot of people can afford that. And especially combined with gas savings, and don't get me started on the way Tesla shows gas savings, but actual gas savings, if you're switching from a gas car, this car is effectively very cheap for most people to switch to. Anyway, enough rambling from me. I would love to hear what you guys think. Overall, this car is fantastic. If you're buying one and this video helped you, or any of my other videos helped you, please use my referral down below. Otherwise, comment down below with your thoughts, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.